Okay, we are back. Myth World Cup, sudden death, match number 2. We are on keep light territories, and this was a pick from 12 tasks. They lost the first game in sudden death, so this match will either continue if 12 tasks wins or end in an NP Cox victory if they manage to come out on top. From a trade perspective, heavy archers, no thrall. We got 4 dwarfs and 12 pus, which is max pus. If we go look on the side of the name changers, we have significantly more thrall. We have less pus. So 10 pus versus 12. Similar number of archers and 1 less dwarf. So I guess the biggest trades here are significantly more thrall on the side of name changers and 1 less dwarf. Looks like from an archer perspective, similar numbers of archers. So we will see, I think from a strategy perspective, you would expect to see something more similar to what you saw in those first 6 games from the side of 12 tasks. For NP Cox, it'll be interesting to see if they try to play this 3-way reactive or if they try to do something that's a bit more assertive and dictate the pace of play themselves. So zooming ahead, it looks like they're actually planning on sinking one of these whites. So from a pus perspective, now it looks like there's going to be even pus, but a sunk white on the side of T-Cox. Looking at where these folks are going, pretty standard stuff here. Very heavy mid with shallow flanks on the NP Cox side. That's going to enable them to be able to be quite adaptive. They can shift very easily. We've got a smaller flank here from the side of 12 tasks. Fire only with 3 archers. It's an interesting number to send on the flank. Not a ton you can do with 3 archers, but it clearly was part of their plan. They must be thinking that they're really going to just be stalling on these flanks, not looking to be too aggressive. They do get the white in. I don't think that anyone on 12 tasks saw the white. So they may assume that it's there, but it wasn't called out in the chat. So good job getting that white sunk. As usual, Donsky is holding down mid. This has been pretty typical of name changer strategies. You've got Ska there as well with the Dren. 9 ball backing that up. R's just hanging out here south. Not trying to get aggressive. You do have Tiri here in support, but he's not pushing back. You've got a scouting goal coming through. Similar stuff. Not a whole lot happening. So I would say at this point the matchup here and the way that this has played out seems to be pretty decent for Thundercox because they're not being forced to adapt. They've gotten set up. Pretty standard strategies by both teams. And it looks like it's just going to come down to, which team can play the BC fight better. So Tyrion and Rs now have chosen to cross. Given the trade from 12 tasks, they're not in any danger of getting rushed. Even if all of the warriors from mid were to come down, they're not going to be in an advantageous position. Similar thing happening here. I think this is almost a mirror matchup where you've got Lude and Shyster, trading back and forth with Tiri. Grim comes over to support. I don't think he's really needed, but mid is a total stalemate, so he's able to flex back and forth there pretty easily. Stormrider is now flanked around, pressuring into the backfield. Again, Arsenic kind of hanging out. Again, just trading some archer fights. Very passive game so far. Lude, though, does find himself in a very bad spot. So not sure, how he managed to end up where he ended up. But Tyrion and Grim are able to pinch, able to clean this up. Chicken Wire on his infamous goal pack, making an impact early. So they still are down in percent on the side of NP Cox. So even though Lude did get wiped out a bit, he did trade back some at least decent damage. To where it's not a total loss from the name changer side. Okay, we've got Donsky and 9ball are now pushing mid. We got a pass, unfortunately, was blocked by Zer's Warrior, so not super effective. You do see Ska, looks like he's going to come over and try to pinch this, while they continue to just stall on the southern flank. Scheister's now in full retreat, so because Lute died, there's really nothing he can do on this flank. He's also vastly outnumbered from an archer perspective. White's still alive and is mirroring. The mid push, Zer did a smart thing by just pulling himself out. Ska looks like, again, hasn't really decided if he wants to commit to pinching or helping South. South has gotten itself surrounded, so Storm is now behind. He's being mirrored by Jeshius, so shouldn't matter too much. Unfortunate pus there. Looks like Josh pussed himself, which is never a good thing. Scheister does get whited, so we noticed that earlier. So big white there. That moves the percent advantage to 11. Actually now 13% since Scheister's archers go down. So big advantages across the board. From here, I think they would really need to wipe out Zer here pretty quickly if they were going to be able to level the percentages. But, you've got this entire force unchecked of Grim and Tiri that are coming. If they're able to reinforce this, or Zer is able to survive, they're going to be in deep trouble. Some very good micro from Scheister, keeping the one-hit red goal alive to get in a really critical pass. That does instantly even up the score. From a percent perspective, but again, I'm struggling to see what answer 12 Task is going to have for all of the archers that are still alive. Donsky does have 4 archers. Ska's got 3, so it is somewhat more even than it initially looked. Going back south, Warriors continue to just trade off back and forth. So again, at this point, it could be anyone's game. A slight lead and slight edge for MP Cox, but they're certainly not out of it on the side of 12 Tasks. Looking at the overhead map, don't see any obvious advantage or disadvantage just in terms of unit spread. Both of these teams have the bulk of their forces here just west of mid, and they've got fairly equal squads out tagging. From a positioning standpoint, you would rather be in 12's task position. They are surrounding the 12 task team. And you've got most of your team here down in a hill, so you've got an elevation disadvantage as well. 12 tests retreating. The Spirit Archer numbers here are really what it is coming down to. You're just getting slowly whittled down. Donsky is doing as much as he can to stay alive, but it's not working out super well. Scheister chooses to go match Arsnik, trying to take this hill and see if he can potentially hold that off. Donsky's now down to his final 2 archers. These Thrall are not going to be able to do much to Zur. He can just slow play this back. Still only a 13% lead, but it is desperation time, I'd say, at this point. On the side of 12 Task, you really have to hope for a screw-up or epic play to even things out. Tagging-wise, it's now 5 flags to 1. If you're name changers, you'd need a miracle win on this flank. We do see a really good pass onto QWERTY. Another pass here. So that's really what you wanted to see if you're the name changers, because they're able to clean this up and potentially take this flag. Still an even fight, but it does look like name changers is going to pull that off. So that's their second flag. They would need at least 2 more. Doesn't look like they have any chance of getting southwest. Your mid force is still bottled up here. So with 17 seconds left, not much they can do. It's now down to 20%. They could manage to take mid, and they in fact do, but not really in a position anywhere else on the map to take a flag. And at that point, the game's over, and that's the series. So looking at the damage, Tiri obviously had a quite a good game. 17 kills, only 6 losses. I think 2 key moments. 1, Lute unfortunately getting trapped out. 2, Scheister getting whited. Really are what I would call the turning point there. Other than that, pretty close game all the way till the end. Very good finals. One of the closest finals there were in Myth World Cup history, as far as I'm aware. So with that, you're welcome, Blade. Consider your request fulfilled. I will consider future requests. If somebody has something they'd like me to review, I can always make a top 10 Karma Blunder reel if we want to see some of my hilarious screw-ups in Myth World Cup over the years. Or not, and we'll just do reviews of the upcoming matches with this year's World Cup. So anyway, thanks for watching.